My husband's name is Aiden Thomas. On the second day of his business trip, while I was cleaning the house, I casually said to the smart speaker, "Siri, play some music." Instead, a strange woman's sweet voice came from the speaker. "Sure thing, my little moon. Also, remind Aiden not to forget tonight's birthday surprise for Naomi." I froze instantly. The music from the speaker suddenly sounded jarring. My husband is indeed named Aiden, but who is Naomi? I immediately called Aiden. "Have you ever used a smart speaker at home?" On the other end, Aiden's voice paused for a moment. Then he laughed casually as if nothing happened. "A friend came over a few days ago and probably connected his account. What's wrong?" I smiled and said it was nothing. After hanging up, I pulled up the smart speaker's login records and took a cab directly to the company registered under that unfamiliar account. The taxi stopped in front of Astral Studio. I looked up at the building. The glass exterior gleamed in the sunlight, just like this company's dominant position in the industry over the past 2 years. Impossible to ignore. This company is Dreamcraft Studios' main competitor. The receptionist was very professional. She didn't treat me poorly despite knowing I was the CEO of a competing company, but followed protocol and made an internal call. A few minutes later, a girl in a white dress hurried out. She had waist-length hair, no makeup, and looked clean and innocent. This was Naomi Collins. When she saw me, Naomi's eyes clearly showed panic for a moment, like a startled deer. But she quickly composed herself and forced a shy smile. "Hello, may I ask who you are?" Naomi asked. I got straight to the point, looking at her calmly. "I'm here about the smart speaker. The login records show your account was used." "Oh, it's about that speaker." Naomi seemed to suddenly understand, scratching her head embarrassedly. "That's my roommate's speaker. She used my phone to log in a few days ago because her membership expired, and she wanted to borrow mine. Did it cause you trouble? I'm really sorry." Her explanation was flawless, both clearing herself of responsibility while appearing naive and adorable. If I didn't know Aiden's personality, I might have actually believed her. Aiden is both proud and sensitive. How could he possibly let a completely unrelated intern use his personal account to log into our home devices? My gaze moved from Naomi's innocent face to her delicate wrist. She wore a silver bracelet on her wrist. The bracelet had 2 irregular rings interlocked with each other, and one of the rings was engraved with a tiny letter, A. This bracelet was one I personally designed for our wedding anniversary last year, had a friend craft it, and gave it to Aiden. The letter A stands for Aiden. There's only one like it in the world. Naomi noticed my gaze and instinctively tried to hide her hand behind her back. But I smiled, stepped forward, and spoke in an even gentle tone. "That's a very special bracelet. Did your boyfriend give it to you? Your boyfriend has excellent taste." Naomi's face instantly turned pale, her lips trembling continuously, unable to say a word. That was enough. I didn't look at Naomi again, and turned to leave. I got back in the same taxi. Once in the car, I immediately called my good friend Kennedy Richardson. She's the best divorce attorney around. As soon as the call connected, Kennedy's voice came through. "Ms. Anderson, what made you think to call me today?" "Elizabeth Anderson is my name." Looking at the rapidly retreating streetscape outside the window, I said in a calm voice, "I need a favor. Investigate someone, Naomi, an intern at Astral Studio. Also, find all of Aiden's financial transactions and hotel records from the past 6 months. Don't miss a single one." Kennedy was quiet for 2 seconds on the other end, then dropped her playful tone. "You want to thoroughly investigate everything about him?" "It's worse than that," I said. After hanging up, the taxi fell silent. Soon after, Aiden's call came in. I looked at Aiden's name on my phone screen, finding it ironic, and took a deep breath before answering. Aiden's gentle voice came through the receiver, with just the right amount of concern in his tone. "Elizabeth, what's wrong? I heard from Kennedy that you asked her to investigate something. Are you having trouble at work?" His informant worked fast. I suppressed the churning emotions in my heart and used my most casual tone. "No, I just suddenly missed you terribly." Aiden seemed to breathe a sigh of relief on the other end, then laughed tenderly. "Silly girl, I miss you too. Once I finish this project, I'll immediately fly back to be with you, my little moon." Those words, little moon, came through clearly to my ears. My grip on the phone instantly tightened. So I wasn't Aiden's only little moon. Or rather, I was never his little moon to begin with. Kennedy was incredibly efficient. Half an hour later, my phone buzzed. I received a link along with Kennedy's assessment. "This is hands down the best innocent act performance of Christmas. The evidence chain is so complete I almost feel bad charging you full attorney fees. Take your time going through it." I clicked the link and found Naomi's social media account, set to public viewing. Naomi's latest post was a close-up of her wrist. She was wearing that familiar bracelet engraved with the letter A that I knew so well, with the caption, "The moon is running toward you, Mr. Thomas." My exclusive little moon nickname and the A bracelet I'd given to Aiden had now become another woman's trophies. I scrolled down with a blank expression. One photo showed our home study in the background. Naomi had her hands cupping her cheeks, smiling innocently. Behind her were the rare architectural volumes I'd brought back from Italy. The caption read, "Studying in Mr. Thomas's study makes me feel smarter too." Another showed Naomi holding a pen, sketching on blueprints. That pen was the 30th birthday gift I'd given Aiden, a limited edition collaboration piece. The caption, "The pen Mr. Thomas gave me works wonderfully. He said my hands deserve the finest pen." Another photo was taken at our regular private restaurant. The image showed several dishes I always ordered. Caption, "This is mine and Mr. Thomas's secret hideaway. He says I'm the only one who can make him completely relax." Every photo, every word cut into my most precious memories like a scalpel, until I scrolled to content Naomi had posted 3 days ago. In the photo, Naomi held a printed design draft, looking particularly smug. The caption read, "The blueprints Mr. Thomas stayed up all night helping me revise. He said I'm the most talented designer he's ever met. I'm definitely going to land the Horizon Center building project. Go me." Horizon Center building was the project our Dreamcraft studio had poured our hearts into, preparing for half a year. It was also the most important milestone of my career. I shot up from the couch, grabbed my car keys, and rushed out the door. The company was empty in the dead of night. I used my fingerprint to unlock the door and headed straight to Aiden's office. Aiden's computer was still displaying the screensaver, our wedding photo. In the picture, Aiden smiled with tender affection. I felt nothing but disgust. I tapped the keyboard. The screen lit up, showing a password prompt. I tried entering my birthday, incorrect. Then our wedding anniversary, still wrong. I let out a cold laugh and entered Naomi's birthday. The screen displayed welcome message. Aiden's desk was meticulously organized. I immediately spotted the encrypted folder. Opening it revealed the final proposal for the Horizon Center building project. Every detail in the proposal embodied months of blood, sweat, and tears from me and the team. Next to this folder was another one, named with just a single letter, N. I opened this folder and discovered a proposal nearly identical to ours, with only minor modifications to key load-bearing structures and design highlights. This cleverly avoided our core patents while preserving the essence of the proposal. The proposal was credited to Naomi. Aiden hadn't just betrayed me, he was stealing my life's work, our company's future, using it all to pave the road to success for his mistress. My stomach suddenly churned violently. I gripped the cold desk tightly to keep from collapsing. So this was how jealousy and betrayal could make a man become completely unrecognizable. The bidding venue for the Horizon Center building project was buzzing with industry professionals everywhere. I found an inconspicuous corner to sit in and watched as Astral Studios' representative took the stage. The person walking up was none other than Naomi. Today, Naomi wore a perfectly tailored business suit, her long hair pinned up, makeup flawless, completely different from her previous innocent appearance. She now carried the sharp, professional aura of a corporate powerhouse. She took a deep breath and began presenting her design concept. "My design inspiration comes from the City Eye concept. We want this building to be more than just cold steel and concrete. It should breathe with the city and serve as a living entity that witnesses urban development," Naomi said. Every single word she spoke was something I had once explained to Aiden during countless late nights, clutching my coffee cup with bloodshot eyes from exhaustion. I used to think those were the most intimate soul-to-soul exchanges between us as husband and wife. Now I realize it was just my one-man show, and Aiden was simply the most patient thief. What made it even more ironic was that Aiden sat in the special guest section of the judging panel. He was impeccably dressed in a suit with a perfectly straight tie, his hair meticulously styled, exactly the elite image I knew so well. Aiden listened with focused attention, nodding approvingly from time to time. The way he looked at Naomi held a light I'd never seen before, the look of someone treasuring a beloved object while eagerly wanting to show it off to the world. He completely ignored me sitting in the corner below, as if I were just dispensable background scenery. My phone buzzed with a message from Kennedy. "Need me to grab a baseball bat and rush over for backup?" Looking at the screen, my tense expression actually cracked into a slight smile. I replied, "Just wait and watch the show." On stage, Naomi's presentation reached its climax. The screen displayed the project's final renderings, exactly the design stolen from my computer. The entire venue erupted in gasps of admiration. After Naomi finished her presentation, the room filled with enthusiastic applause. Director Charles Reed took the stage. "Thank you for Ms. Collins' excellent presentation. Now let's invite our special guest judge, a senior veteran in our industry from Dreamcraft Studio, Mr. Thomas, to comment on this proposal." The microphone was handed to Aiden. Aiden cleared his throat, gazing tenderly at Naomi. "Honestly, I'm impressed. Ms. Collins' design perfectly balances artistic beauty with practical functionality, especially the clever handling of several key load-bearing structures. She's bold and talented." He used that word talented again. The same word he used to describe Naomi. The same word he used to wound me. Aiden paused for a moment, his gaze sweeping across the venue. I believe this is today's best work, he continued. The room erupted in applause again, even more enthusiastic than before. In that moment, my world suddenly went quiet. All I could hear was my heart beating dully in my chest. Charles smiled as he took back the microphone. Thank you for Mr. Thomas's high praise. It looks like Astral Studio has this project locked up. Are there any other guests or judges who'd like to ask Ms. Collins a question? The venue fell silent. After Aiden, this authority figure, had already given his definitive conclusion, it seemed no one had any more questions. Naomi bowed in gratitude on stage, unable to hide her triumph and joy. I put away my phone and stood up just as everyone was preparing to applaud again. Though my movement was small, it instantly drew everyone's attention. Charles looked stunned and asked, "Excuse me, miss, may I ask who you are?" The smile on Aiden's face froze instantly. "I am Elizabeth Anderson," I said, my voice calm and clear, cutting through the murmurs like a blade through silk. CEO of Dreamcraft Studio, and Mr. Thomas's wife. A ripple of surprise swept through the crowd. Aiden stood up abruptly, his chair screeching against the floor. His composure cracked, revealing a flash of panic. "Elizabeth, what are you doing here?" he asked, his voice tight. "You weren't on the guest list." "I wasn't," I admitted, stepping into the aisle. "But seeing as my husband is judging a competition where his mistress is presenting my stolen work, I thought I should probably attend." The silence that followed was absolute. Naomi turned white. She gripped the podium so hard her knuckles lost color. Aiden's face went from panic to fury in a heartbeat. "That is a baseless accusation," Aiden snapped, trying to regain control. "Security." "Wait," Charles Reed intervened, his eyes narrowing. He was a man of integrity, known for despising industry politics. "Let her speak." "Mrs. Anderson, that is a serious claim." "It is," I agreed, walking toward the stage. I pulled a USB drive from my pocket. "And I have the receipts." I handed the drive to the technician near the stage. "Please display the folder labeled evidence." The large screen behind Naomi flickered. The beautiful rendering of the city I vanished, replaced by a time-stamped log of file access from Aiden's computer. Then side-by-side comparisons of my original sketches dated 6 months ago versus Naomi's files created 3 days ago. Finally, a series of screenshots. Naomi's social media posts, the bracelet, the intimate captions, and the text messages between Aiden and Naomi coordinating the theft. The crowd gasped. Phones were raised, recording the meltdown in real time. "This," I pointed to the screen, "is the original draft of the Horizon Center building proposal. Created on my personal server. Timestamps verified by a third-party forensic IT firm. And this," I pointed to Naomi's submission, "is a copy-paste job with minor structural tweaks that actually compromise the building's safety integrity." I turned to Naomi. "You called it the City Eye? In my original notes, I called it Oculus. Even the metadata on your files still has my user ID embedded in the properties. You didn't even scrub the file history." Naomi looked like she was about to faint. She looked at Aiden, pleading silently for help. Aiden was trembling. This is a misunderstanding. She's delusional. We're going through a rough patch in our marriage." "A rough patch?" I laughed, a cold, sharp sound. "Aiden, you gave her my bracelet. You gave her my design. You gave her my life. The only thing you didn't give her was the talent to pull it off." I turned back to Charles Reed. "Mr. Reed, Dreamcraft Studio formally withdraws from this competition. We do not compete with thieves. However, I will be filing a lawsuit against Astral Studio and Mr. Aiden Thomas for intellectual property theft, corporate espionage, and fraud." Charles looked at the screen, then at Aiden. The disgust on his face was palpable. "Mr. Thomas," Charles said icily, "please leave the panel. Immediately." Aiden stared at me. The love, the tenderness, the mask, it was all gone. In its place was pure, unadulterated hatred. "You ruined everything," he hissed as he walked past me. "No, Aiden," I whispered back. "I just turned on the lights." The aftermath was swift and brutal. The scandal exploded online. Hashtag Astral Theft and hashtag Little Moon trended for days. Astral Studio fired Naomi within hours to save face, but the damage was done. Their reputation was in tatters. Aiden tried to fight. He hired expensive lawyers, claiming I had planted the evidence, that I was a jealous wife vindicatively destroying his career. But Kennedy Richardson was a shark. She didn't just dismantle his defense, she eviscerated it. During the divorce proceedings, Kennedy uncovered more than just the affair. Aiden had been embezzling funds from Dreamcraft to support Naomi's lifestyle. Luxury apartments, cars, vacations. He treated the company account like his personal piggy bank. Kennedy told me over coffee one morning, "We can get him on embezzlement, fraud, and breach of fiduciary duty. Elizabeth, he's going to prison." I stirred my coffee, looking out the window. What about Naomi? She's cooperating, Kennedy smirked. Turns out, when faced with jail time for corporate espionage, loyalty to a disgraced lover fades pretty quickly. She's testifying against him in exchange for a lighter sentence. I felt a strange sense of hollowness. Victory didn't feel like triumph. It felt like cleaning up a mess after a storm. 3 months later, I sat in the courtroom. Aiden looked haggard. He had lost weight. His suit, once perfectly tailored, hung loosely on his frame. He refused to look at me. Naomi took the stand. She cried. Crocodile tears, perhaps, but effective. She painted herself as a victim of Aiden's manipulation. A young intern dazzled by a powerful mentor. It was pathetic, but it nailed Aiden's coffin shut. When the judge read the verdict, guilty on all counts, Aiden finally looked at me. His eyes were empty. As the bailiffs led him away, he stopped near my bench. Was it worth it? He asked, his voice raspy. Destroying us both. I stood up, smoothing my dress. I didn't destroy us, Aiden. You did. I just survived. I walked out of the courtroom into the bright sunlight. Life moved on. Dreamcraft Studio rebounded. We won the Horizon Center bid, legitimately this time, after the project was retendered. The building, now named the Oculus, became a landmark. Every time I looked at it, I didn't see betrayal. I saw resilience. I met someone new. His name was Julian. He was an artist, not an architect. He didn't care about blueprints or corporate ladders. He painted with messy, vibrant colors. One evening, sitting on my balcony, Julian noticed the smart speaker. Hey Siri, he joked. Play some jazz. The speaker chimed, playing jazz essentials. The smooth saxophone filled the air. No extrañe voices. No secrets. I leaned back, closing my eyes. You okay? Julian asked, touching my hand. Yeah, I smiled. Just enjoying the music. The moon hung high in the sky, bright and full. It wasn't anyone's little moon. It was just the moon. And it belonged to everyone and no one, all at once. And finally, so did I.